Tonight I hope to do it for the first time comprehensively, inshallah. So let us begin with Allah's blessed name and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may guide us and protect us from error. But let me once again enter into the record that any time your brother Imran Hussein gives an opinion or interprets the Quran or the Hadith, I don't want you to accept my opinion. No, not to do it. You must only accept my opinion when you are convinced that it is correct. Is there more I can do than that? I'm not brainwashing people, am I? How many times have I said it? This is my opinion, and when I give an opinion, I say Allah knows best, and this is what Islamic scholarship has been doing for 1400 years. Are you going to deny me what scholars of Islam have been doing for 1400 years? Give an opinion and you say Allah knows best. The Prophet said alayhi salatu wasalam that Dajjal will come with a mountain of bread, and people will follow him for his bread. We have a problem of methodology here. The Salafi are my brothers. I am not waging any war on the Salafi. This is knowledge. This is the domain of knowledge, and we are entitled to be critical. And so we ask, if you stay with that methodology, that only Allah and His Messenger and the Aslaf are entitled to interpret, and if they did not, then we have to wait for number one, a mountain, and number two, it must be a mountain of bread. The only thing we can ask is whether it will be whole wheat bread or bread made from white flour. And already my audience is smiling, because they realize that there's more to the subject than that. Is it going to be the bread that you have in Roti Canai? No, we are not stuck with that methodology. No. We recognize that when the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam spoke about a mountain of bread, that he's not talking about bread being piled up until it reaches as high as a mountain. No. We recognize it differently. We say mountain here stands for a large quantity, or rather a very large quantity. And we say that bread here stands for wealth, material possessions. If you differ with us, that's your problem, because we are moving on. This is our message to the world of Salafi Islamic scholarship. We are moving on, and we have been moving on these last few months, and alhamdulillah there is appreciation for the progress being made. And so Dajjal is going to amass wealth, and there are those who are going to follow him for his wealth, instead of being faithful to Allah and His Messenger. You can buy them, and you can buy them with the wealth that you have, Dajjal. What is the strategy that he uses to amass this huge amount of wealth, and to then use that wealth as power, to use that wealth to be able to make progress with his mission to rule the world? That wealth is power, and if I have wealth, I can rule. And those who do not have wealth can be enslaved, and when they enslave, they cannot offer any resistance to my rule. So what is the strategy by which he amasses all of this wealth? We know about riba. Yeah. That the money lender, when he lends you money on interest, does not always lend you money on interest so that he will become rich. If you have read John Perkins' book, John Perkins, thank Allah that he wrote the book. People would not have believed me, but now it's there. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Try to get that book and read it. Then you would know that the money lender sometimes lends you money on interest in order to enslave you. And so the banking system around the world, with the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund at its heart, and the commercial banking interests, with which now, unfortunately, Islamic banks are also forming a part of it, so-called Islamic banks, have played and are still playing a very important role in Dajjal's strategy of enslaving the masses around the world. But that's not our topic tonight. Our topic is the river Euphrates and a mountain of gold. And before we attempt the subject, I have to tell you that your brother Imran graduated in 1971 from the Alimia Institute of Islamic Studies in Karachi, Pakistan. My teacher and the head of the institution was Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari, rahimahullah. And when I was leaving Pakistan, having done the degree in Islamic Studies and also a master's degree in philosophy from Karachi University, he said to me, Imran, I want you to go back home and I want your hand to be like this and not like this. Meaning, I want you to get a job and earn your own livelihood. Because he says, I know the character of the ummah today. He who pays the piper calls the tune. So I went back home and I applied for a job in the foreign ministry. And they interviewed me and they said, yes, we'd love to have you in the foreign ministry, but we want you to go back to the university and do a postgraduate diploma in international relations. And I got a chance to study international economics, and in particular international monetary economics. And because I took the Quran with me in the classroom, of course in my heart, I had an advantage over all the others. So remember that when you have your children, remember that with your children, as you educate your children, that I had in the classroom with me a fellow with a master's degree from the London School of Economics, and people from French universities and British universities and Canadian universities, American universities, and they were all looking down at this poor Pakistani degree. He has a degree from Pakistan. He studied Islam. What can he do? But at the end of the year, in the final year exams, I came first in the class. They didn't laugh that time. No. And in the examination of international economics, I beat the fella who had a master's degree from the London School of Economics. It was not just intelligence, it was not just hard work on my part, it was more than that. It was the Quran. It was because I had studied the Quran before coming to the classroom. But that was 1972. 40